Oh, my kitty is right here on the mat. I'll show you. Simba. Welcome, welcome. Awesome to see everyone. You're welcome to turn the camera on or off if you're shy, but this is a definitely experiential learning. So if you can, when we practice, we'll practice together. I'll also move back a little bit when we practice so you can kind of see, but most of the time when we practice, we have eyes closed. So it almost doesn't matter if you see or not, but active listening. Yeah, so today is the first session of the series of the workshop. So I want to give you a little bit overview of what we're going to learn during this workshop and what you're gonna get out of it. So first thing first, I think some of you already have a lot of experience in yoga, in breath work, and that's all good. We have learned from many different channels like yoga or certain other modalities about breath work. So there are a lot of science behind breath, and we came to this world carrying the first breath, right? And when we go out of this world, we carry the last breath. So usually what they say is if you die peacefully, you die on the out breath. So that's something, it's kind of funny. I'm going to share my screen just so that you know um, what's the essential of this class. So let me know if you see my screen. It's basically just one slide. Cool. There are 3 types of breath technique. Okay, my kitty is trying to go into a very tiny box to distract you. It's a very, very tiny box. It's trying to get He's entertainment in my house. So these 3 type of breath. One is called active. So the active breath is to get your body and the mind active and alert. So if you have done yoga, you know this common thing called breath of fire. When you take breath of fire, your body start to activate. You start to feel energized. And that's very, very effective just for like 2 minutes or even 1 minute of breath. And the second one is called balance breath. So I also put this coffee, water, whiskey as the more layman's term because when I was trained as a breath coach in this training, my trainer, my teacher, categorized them in a more layman's term so people can more relate to and remember how to use them. So think about the active, like you drink coffee in the morning, you get your body start to awaken, right? And the balance is a water breathing that you can drink water any time of the day, morning, evening, mid of the day. Usually the more the better. And not over like waterboarding, but if you drink water, your system is getting to get hydrated and balanced overall. So that balance breathing, we call it water breathing. That's the focus for today's workshop and learning. So the first one is called belly breath, belly breathing, only use your belly. And second is called the yogic breathing, which is a 3-part breathing. You've got belly, dive, chest, and collarbones. And then the third one, it's alternate nostrils breathing, meaning you alternate between left and right. Um, in place of that, that's a little bit complicated. I may just teach you something called box breathing. So box is like box. So it's basically inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. So this type of breathing technique, one character is inhale and exhale is the same length. So if you count 1, 2, inhale, then your exhale is 1, 2. If you count inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, and then your exhale is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's balanced between inhale and exhale. So the intake and output. And there's science behind it. I'll go through some of it. And the third type is relaxed breathing. So they call it whiskey breathing. Yeah, when you have a sip of whiskey or a shot of whiskey, you start to feel like, oh, relaxed, right? So this type of breathing usually can get from your very anxious mode to a very calm and a relaxed mode. So this whiskey breathing is actually almost considered as a medicine for anxiety. And any time of the day, if you feel like a little bit anxious, even our body have physical response. Our body has physical response, and then you can use this kind of technique to calm your nervous system down. So what's most amazing is our breath actually will influence our nervous system. So our nervous system, roughly, there are like 2 types. One is parasympathetic, one is sympathetic. I know it's a mouthful, but basically one is get you agitated, activated, awaken, and awaken in the way of like get go doing things, that kind of awaken or alert, right? The other parasympathetic nervous system is get you like after your food, you have the food coma, it's the parasympathetic nervous system is activated. That's the kind of response. You're very calm. They call it the rest and digest. So you rest on the couch, you start to digest your food. And in the parasympathetic nervous system activation, it just means you become a lot more calm and you can, fall asleep. This is why the food coma, right? When you start to having big food belly, you start to feel like, sleepy. So that's the kind of relaxing whiskey breathing can give you that effect. So it's all through breathing that can influence your state of mind, your state of mood, your state of nervous system. And of course, there are tons of benefit I can give you, but so for now, I would like to focus on these 3 concepts of breathing technique. So if nothing else, you take away home about 3 types of breathing: coffee, water, and whiskey. In the morning, you drink coffee. During the day, anytime you drink water, and at night, you can drink some wine, alcohol to get yourself relaxed and go to sleep. So we call that whiskey. So right now I'm actually drinking coffee because it's morning during our time, and I know some of you it's not the same time zone, so you might not be drinking coffee right at this moment. So I'll go through some of the science behind it, but first let's do a practice. So we start with belly breathing. Okay, I'll move away a little bit so you can see. And you can actually get to your mat or anywhere sitting comfortably. Sit on the chair is perfectly fine. So I'm going to stop sharing and pin my video so you can see the entire screen. I guess I cannot pin my video, but I guess right now it's the speaker view, so you can still see me, right? Good?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. So what I do is I sit cross-legged. In yoga, this is called easy sit, Sukhasana. So Sukh is easy. Sukhasana. Sukha is easy. Sukhasana just means easy sit. You sit very comfortably, feeling like your sit bone is on the floor. Usually I pop up my sitting a little higher so my my hip is relaxed. So my knees are not up, because when my knees is up, everything is kind of tense. You need to hold it up, right? So you sit a little taller. So you relax your thighs and knees. You put palms on the knees or thighs. This is first just to relax a little bit and sitting on your mat. For the belly breathing, I would recommend you put one hand, say your left hand on the belly and the right hand on your chest. So the goal here is when you breathe, only your belly is moving, not your chest. We'll talk about the other type of breathing after this. So if you breathe now, just put your left hand on the belly. And when you breathe, just take a moment to observe, how does your belly move? Does your belly go out when you inhale or when you exhale? Just observe that. There's no right or wrong, just observe. Okay, take a mental note. So you observed when you breathe the belly in and out in certain way. It's when you breathe now. So this belly breathing is specific technique. When you breathe in, you relax belly, belly goes out. And when you exhale, belly goes in, contract, and push the air out. So it's contrary to our normal breathing behavior, breathing pattern, right? When you're normally breathing, you're probably breathing when you're in, you're like push the belly in and puff the chest up, right? So this specific yoga breathing, belly breathing, is to relax belly when you breathe in, and when you breathe out, push the belly in, breathe out. So why? Because we have something called diaphragm. It's inside of your rib cage. So it looks like a just inside of rib cage. If you take your fingers, kind of go in your rib cage a little bit, and that muscle is your diaphragm. So what's interesting is when you breathe in, when your belly goes out, your diaphragm goes down. So when your diaphragm goes down, you actually create more space for the lungs to expand. So therefore, when you belly out, diaphragm down, lungs expand, you can take more air into your lungs. And now when you exhale, belly goes in, diaphragm goes up, lungs shrink, and air goes out naturally. So that's the science behind why belly breathing. Belly breathing is, we call a yogic slang, but officially it's actually called diaphragmic breathing. Diaphragmic breathing. So this diaphragm is something you want to manipulate in order to get your breathing more air and more efficiently into your lungs. And there's a lot more other science because diaphragm also intertwine with this biggest nerve. It's called the vagus nerve in your body, from the bottom of your head all the way to your belly. The vagus nerve is actually associated with the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the digest and the rest and digest system. So when you take this kind of breathing, you actually can calm your nervous system. So let's do that together. I'll count for you. So inhale for 4 and exhale for 4. Maybe at the very beginning, it's very hard to breathe all 4 counts, but just try. Don't strain yourself, okay? So just try. I'll count a little faster at the beginning, and I'll start to count a little slower toward the end. So we'll take 8 to 10 breaths together, And now just sit comfortably. Put your left hand on the belly and the right hand on the chest, on the heart center. And gently close your eyes. And relax your shoulders. Now inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, belly rise. 3, 4. Exhale, belly 4, 3, 4. Inhale, belly rise. 3, 4. Exhale, belly 4. Okay, I'll count slower. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Slower. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 more. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 more. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 more. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Relax your hands to your knees, palms facing up. Come to your normal breathing for a moment. Relax your shoulders. Now gently open your eyes. So I know it's probably a little difficult for people who have never done this before. And so the slower you breathe, the more relaxed the effect will be. So there's one tuning effect, tuning coefficient, let's say, is the ratio of the breathing, which is inhale versus exhale, and then the rate of breathing, which means how many complete breaths per minute, right? So the faster our normal breath, say, is between 12 to 18 breaths per minute. If you just don't do anything when you just inhale and exhale, some people breathe slower, some people breathe faster. So average is between 12 to 18. But if you do it in a conscious way, your conscious breathing, the optimal that can affect and influence your nervous system to calm down is actually 5.5 breaths per minute. So you go inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So 5.5 per minute, which is 11 complete breaths every 2 minutes. So what's interesting, if you have a Apple Watch, they have a breathing, the breath thing, right? So they give you a up, going down. So that is average around 5 breaths per minute. They actually figured out how to calm your nervous system down. Yeah. So that's the first breathing technique. And this kind of technique is very easy and very doable any time of the day. And you are encouraged to do, say, just 10 breaths, morning, midday, anytime, just like drinking a sip of water is your 10 breath. Um, So yeah, do you have any questions? Please unmute yourself.
Hi, Mary. So I did have a question because I noticed when I was trying to do like the breathing just now, my diaphragm actually felt really tight. Like, do you have any tips for like getting that to relax and be more flexible when you're trying to do it?
So yeah, it's a chicken and egg problem, right? The more you practice, the more you're exercising the muscles. And that's exactly why you need to practice this breathing so that your muscles even have a memory. We also say we have muscle memories, right? When you grab, certain memory is happening, right? So this same goes to the internal muscles. A lot of times we call those involuntary movements, right? We have lots of different types of muscles. Like our heart is, comprised of muscles, but they are involuntary in a way that they do it automatically. They pump your blood, but you can train them. And this is why, the HIIT training and how you do the marathons, you can control the heart rate. So you can do the same for your heart rate, for your diaphragm with your breathing. And that's exactly what breathing can do for you. Thank you for the question, and that's a very good question. It's similar to many yoga students. I mean, me as forever yoga students, I always question, why do I do that? Do I feel this way? Is it right? Sometimes we always think there is a right or wrong, but the truth is there's no absolute right or wrong because everything is okay, but the key is balancing. You know, coffee is not bad. When you want to wake up in the morning, you drink a cup of coffee. But when you want to go to sleep, coffee is bad because it prevents you from going to sleep. And no one drinks whiskey in the morning, right? So same when we practice all these breathing techniques, always bear in mind the application of those techniques. So you have a tool set, right, is the breathing techniques. And now you have a skill set, is about how to use the tools in your daily life to help you. So the skill set is about your own judgment, what to use when. Yeah. So let's start the second type of breathing. So the second type of breathing is very similar to the first one. It's an extension, and it was used in all types of yoga classes. It's called yogic breath breathing, and you're probably familiar. I mentioned belly, chest, and collarbones. So that basically means you expand your belly, start with that, expand your chest, and then even expand and lift your collarbones. So do this one exercise with me. So when you are just sitting here, relax your shoulders, hands on the thighs, and all you do is trying to lift your collarbones up a little bit. Right? You see the little bit. Yes, very nice. So when you lift collarbones, you actually give more space to your rib cage. And this is why when your rib cage expands, now your lung can expand. Therefore, when we talk about lung capacity, we're not just about focusing lungs and let it expand, forget about everything surrounding it. It has a cage, right? You can call it a prison. It's a rib cage, hugging your lungs. So how to make this prison bigger, right? If you're now in a 5 by 5 prison cell, tomorrow I say you're liberated into a 10 by 10 prison cell. You're in a bigger cell, but you're still hugged in this cage. So the key is how to expand your rib cage. So whatever breathing technique you're doing, you can facilitate the lung capacity expansion. And collarbone is one of the very almost always ignored in most daily life about this collarbone. So we always say, okay, roll back your shoulders. but at the same time, you lift your collarbone, lift your, this is sternum, lift your heart, right? So that expansion of your chest gives more space. So let's just do this. So when you put your left hand on the belly, right hand on the chest. So when you inhale, start to feel first belly rise and then chest rise. And the last, that tiny bit last is like try to lift your collarbone to expand even more. And that gives you the maximum expansion of inhale. And then when you exhale, first lower down your collarbone and then lower down your chest and finally lower down your belly. You can even squeeze in your belly a little bit to push the air out on the exhale. So this is called 3 parts yogic breathing. So we'll practice that together. I'll go back to my mat. So for this, we'll just practice, 4 or 5 breaths together because we have a lot more to cover. Put your left hand on the belly, right hand on the chest. So I'll guide you. So relax your shoulders. Gently close your eyes. Now inhale, belly rise, chest rise, collarbone rise, all the way to the crown. Exhale, collarbone lower, belly lower. Inhale, belly rise, chest rise, collarbone rise, all the way to the crown. Exhale, collarbone lower, chest lower, belly fall. One more. Inhale, belly rise, chest rise, collarbone rise to the crown. Exhale, collarbone lower, chest lower, belly fall. Relax your hands to the thighs. Relax your body, relax your shoulders, breathing normally. Now gently open your eyes. So that is your yogic breathing. So if you feel that's too much to take notice, just do your belly breathing to start with. Take something simple and accessible to you, right? It's not a competition. It's not like we have to do everything every day, every moment. Simple. Keep it simplified and accessible. And you can do all this laying down. So when you are, feeling a little bit too stressed out during the day, you can just lay down on the couch, lay down on your bed, do that 10 breaths. Use your hand to give yourself a little bit of sensation because we want to be aware of our body. Our body's existence is the sign of our liveness. Okay? So that's the breathing, the first 2 simple breathing techniques. Do you have any questions? No? Okay, cool. So the third one I would like to go through is something called a box breathing. So the box breathing actually was used in Navy. It's invented by this Navy officer. Interestingly, I actually talked with a friend who used to be in the Navy. He's like, yeah, I know that. He's like, but I don't know why they made me do it, right? Made us do it. So this is involving something called a retention, breath retention. So on the inhale retention and exhale retention. So before we go to that, let's do one test. So this is called breath holding test. Okay. And after that, we'll talk more about why breath holding. So just breathe normally. Let's use our hand. You can use the ring finger and the thumb to close your nostrils. So fold down your index and the middle finger. This is in the yogic way, it's called a mudra. So mudra is a gesture. It can be a hand gesture, it can be some other gesture. There are different ways of mudra. So let's do this. Just try to see if you can close your nostrils with the two, and you can pinch your nose, not so hard, just enough to close the nostrils so you don't have any air out or in from your nostrils. So the breath holding is on the exhale. So you breathe normally, not the diaphragmic breathing, just the normal breathing. And when you exhale, maybe it's not like completely squeeze out, maybe 80%, right? Because we normally breathe shallow, not 100%. So take that normal breathing in, out, in, out. Next time in, next time out. Hold your breath using the fingers, and let's just start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So count silently. When you feel a hunger for breath, release your hand and breathe normally. So this is not a competition. This is a test for yourself. So actually, a running coach, a very famous running coach, he recently did that on one of his YouTube channel. Why? Because breathing is so important for athletes. Breathing is so important for US Navy, the officers, the people in the front line, people who can be stressed out, right? So one thing we have always misconception is all we want is oxygen, oxygen, oxygen in our body. It's truly, truly important. But the key is what else in your body? When you breathe in the normal air, 80% is nitrogen. Let me show you. No, hold on. Before I speak, let me see. Um, okay, let me try to share screen. Okay, so when you inhale, about 80% is nitrogen and 20% is oxygen. It's the normal air we're breathing. And there are a few other things. But when you exhale from your body, they call it moist air, right? It's from your own body. 74.4% nitrogen, and they're like 13, 15% oxygen. You still breathe out some oxygen. And there's carbon dioxide, that's CO2, right? This is what we always say, why do we want to have plants indoors? The plants breathe out oxygen that we want to breathe in, and we breathe out carbon dioxide, the CO2 that plants can breathe in. So we have this symbiotic, well, symbiotic relationship with plants, right? So when you see we have carbon dioxide going out, that's actually a lot more than you take in. So inhale, there's very little carbon dioxide, right? 0.04%. But when you exhale, there's almost 5% is carbon dioxide. Where do they come from, right? They come from your body. There is a chemical reaction, and you also eat in carbon, right? They're molecules. You eat carbon, like all kinds of food have carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Yeah, C, H, and O is just different molecules. They bond together. They become different kinds of food, right? So you eat in carbon, and there's also a chemistry happening inside of your body. Now you take out the CO2, the carbon. And this is why they say breathing actually can promote weight loss. So if you do certain type of breathing, you can lose weight. And that's really, really magical, right? Well, magical is because when you don't know, everything seems to be magical. But when you understand that science, it's reasonable, right? Something is happening. So this is about the CO2. And when you use all kinds of breathing technique, you are actually manipulating the carbon dioxide in your body. The retention is to hold the carbon dioxide in your system, that retention part. Breath hold in, breath hold out is to stop carbon dioxide coming out, right? So you retain that carbon dioxide in your system. Why? Because not all carbon dioxide is bad. And this is why we say not everything is good and not everything is bad. So we need this balance. They can do good for you at certain time, right? Oxygen, you can't have like pure oxygen all the time, but you know, you can have you can you can get toxified by carbon dioxide, right? That's why they have the meters invented in your house in case there's something overloading the carbon dioxide. You can basically drown. Why? Because it goes into your system, feeling so relaxed, you sleep and you just never wake up. But carbon dioxide used properly, it can help you. Why? So carbon dioxide, it is a vasodilation. What does it mean? Vaso is your veins. So carbon dioxide will dilate your veins, which means it will lower your blood pressure. So this is particularly good practice for people who have high blood pressure, hypertension, and especially when you feel this, you can actually use breathing techniques to lower your blood pressure. It's very, very effective, even 5 minutes. It will do that. And we'll experiment today in a few minutes. And the CO2 can also dilate your breathing passageway. So the CO2 actually have some chemical reaction in your bloodstream, and then what does it do? It will actually increase your O2 intake absorption in your bloodstream. So this is really amazing. CO2 has a good role, if you have to judge it good or bad, in this system we call our body. So we can manipulate the CO2 to achieve certain outcome, right? To achieve the relaxed state and to achieve, the breathing passageway. So that's the CO2 and O2. So the goal is balancing, CO2 and O2, they are both good, but if too much, none of them are good, right? So the exchange of CO2 is essential to your living being, to your health. So we're manipulating the CO2 level in our lungs and in our blood. So let's do this breath holding test. So now let's do once more. And when you finish, keep your eyes closed and just feel whether your nasal passageway has a little more clearing, okay? So inhale normally, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. When you feel you exhale completely and close your nose. Just feel your nostrils. Feel if they feel a little bit open, more open than before. And then gently open your eyes. Wait, let me see. Very good. So, how do you feel? Did you feel a little open?
I feel a little bit more relaxed. Like I noticed there was some tension in my neck that kind of started to let go a little bit. I mean, I'd probably have to do it more, but I think it's useful.
Yeah. So, this breath holding is actually a test. It's not a breathing practice. So, but you do that to gauge yourself, right? So, what I say is, I mean, many research has found that the more you track, the more you are aware of what you're doing, which actually it gives you improvement, right? So, what gets tracked gets improved. You know, this is why we all have those dashboard, the graphs, the charts, and the measures from your watches, the wearables. So the breath test is something you can track, whether your lung capacity is a measure of your lung capacity. Very interestingly, not all athletes are doing better than yogis. Yogis are actually better than the athletes in terms of the breath capacity, and because we practice breathing technique all the time, right? So let's do the last one. It's called a box breathing. So this will involve the inhale retention and exhale retention. And we'll do that 10 together. So I'll count for you. So all you need to do is follow my instruction and use this mudra for holding your nose. So put your left hand on the knee, palms facing up, and the right hand in this mudra. When you need to close your nose, come to close. When you don't need to, I say relax your right hand. Okay, so we'll do that together. So come to your comfortable seat. Keep your spine erect, lengthening. Keep reaching your crown toward the ceiling or the sky. Now relax your shoulders. Go up and back 3 times. Keep your chest natural, not puffed up, right? Just keep your chest natural. Relax your hips, your belly, your chest. Just relax all your torso, including your legs and feet. Now both palms facing up. Put your right palm in the mudra, folding your index finger and the middle finger into your palm, and just palm facing up for now on the right knee. Now gently close your eyes. Just breathe normally. Now let's start. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Close your nostrils. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Relax your right hand. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Relax your right hand. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Close your nostrils. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Relax your right hand. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release your right hand. Come to your normal breathing. Relax your shoulders. Relax your chest. Relax your belly. Now let's do the second round. Keep your eyes closed. Right hand in the mudra. Ready? Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Relax. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Relax your hand. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Relax your hand. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Relax your hand. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Relax your hand. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last one. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Relax your hand. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Relax your hand. Come to your normal breathing. Relax your shoulders. Relax your chest. Relax your belly, hips, thighs, and knees. Now gently open your eyes. All right, so do you have any questions, and how do you feel?
I feel very stressed out. Like it was really hard to do that slowly, especially with like it was, and I felt myself getting angry, which I thought was interesting.
because you're responding to whether you're able to do or not able to do, right?
I think it's more like maybe subconsciously, I almost felt like I was not being allowed to breathe the way I needed to, the way my body wanted to.
Yeah, so when you take the breathing yourself, you count silently. You're not listening to me, right?
Yeah.
So I think listening to an external voice is there's side effect of it. Some people can use an external voice so that you can focus on that breathing, so your mind is not drifting away. Some, like, I think that's a very good feedback when you just told us is, when you always take lots of input, your mind actually gets busy.
No, but it wasn't the fact that you were talking. It's how slow you were going in the second round was like too slow for me. So like I was trying to do it and I just was feeling like, I think it made me feel very, just stressed. Like I just wanted to breathe faster and I was trying to do it according to the counting and it just got really stressful.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. It's actually pretty slow because I need to count. I'm not breathing. If I were to breathing, I may actually stress out too. I don't know, right? So yeah, so when you practice, always practice what's for you. It's not a competition. Like, you're not competing with someone else, like even on the same bed, right? It's about you, how to use your breath to do work for your system. And that's excellent discover that you feel like certain thing is too slow or certain rhythm is too quick. And that's for you to explore, definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So time is running out. I'll open the floor for everyone who has any other related question. Yeah, please. Meow
I
meow.
found
Where's my kitty?
I
Okay,
found
go ahead.
the final exercise got easier for me as it went on. The first few breaths were I was struggling to hold them for the whole 4 seconds, 4 or 5 or 6 seconds, and then by the end, it felt more fitting. It was
Yeah.
less difficult for me.
Yeah, thank you, Eric. This is a really good observation because this is how effect the breathing can do for you. Just matter of minutes along this course, your breathing pattern can change, right? And yeah, so this is why breathing is like the easiest tool, the cheapest tool. You don't need anything. It's under your nose tips. So use that. It's come for free. Nothing else. Even if you don't have an arm, knock on wood, you have your arm and the legs, you still have your breath as long as you're living. So that's the best tool ever. And this is why I feel so grateful. Every morning I woke up, I'm breathing. And you can use the breath as your medicine for your physical body, for your mind, and for your heart, even. So I hope you will come next 3 weeks. So we'll go through some other techniques, which can be a little more complicated, but I just want to teach you more. But stick with what's easy and appropriate for yourself. And your homework is to do 3 breathing every day. Each breathing takes 1 or 2 minutes. That's it. It's your homework. It's your report back. Jot down your notes. Every time you did it, write it down. And today, when you do the breath holding test, just count how many seconds. Use a phone for a stopwatch And after a week, and try again and jot down the notes for how long you had hold for your breath. So it's just a small technique to measure, and homework when you jot down the notes and you feel accomplished every day you did 3 breaths, just 3 to 6 minutes of your day. And I do pranayama every day, morning and evening, at least 20 to 30 minutes. So that's a lot of time, but I feel so much more happier. I mean, it's the most generic term, let's say. I'm much happier because the well-being inside I couldn't see, but I could feel.
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming. Namaste.
Namaste. See you next week. Ciao.
See you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mary. Bye.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Regina. Thank you, Fai.
Bye.